Let me just take a video of it. All right. What are we sitting in front of? And what's the name of this car again?
It's the Mercedes-Benz B-Class electric drive.
And it's being announced next week. And this is in the somewhere around 50,000. You're not announcing prices yet.
Correct.
And this is a nice, comfortable car. And it's made for electric and conventional, but in the United States, it'll only be available electric.
Correct.
What's the range on this car?
The range is 122 miles,
Okay.
nominal US cycle.
So a little bit more than the BMW i3.
Correct.
That's good, because I need that extra range, because I drive... on an average day, I'll drive 50 miles, but sometimes I come down to Mountain View, and then it gets close to 100, right?
The way you're explaining it, that sounds like the perfect explanation. So we're certainly targeting people who do an average drive per day of, let's say, around 50 miles. It sounds reasonable, and you always want, typical customer wants that extra safety of having additional range available. Yeah. So with the 122 miles of nominal range, you can do your 50 comfortably every day, no matter what conditions are around. And you always have that extra energy available if you need, in case you need it.
Yeah, this is also a little bit longer than the BMW i3. Yes. It also feels nicer. It feels like a Mercedes-Benz. Yeah,
and that's the whole point of it. What we're trying to do is not just another electric car. What we're doing is
let me put on my seatbelt so we can drive.
What we're doing is build a Mercedes-Benz, and it should look and feel and touch like a Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. So when you step into the car, it feels normal to the customer who's used to Mercedes. So all your controls, your feel, your materials are Mercedes style. Yeah. And there's nothing to confuse you. So what I just did, I just started the car normal. You get your ready sign here and you're good to go. So you operate your gear shift lever like any automatic, and you just release the brake, and off you go. So nothing to learn about, nothing specific if you don't want to. Yeah. If you're into electric cars, you'll ask about regenerating energy, you'll ask about specific controls and information. And if you want that, if you're into technology, you can get that, obviously. Yep. So various levels of regen energy that you can control via the shift pedals on the steering wheel. We've got two driving modes, a standard economic mode and a sports mode. The car's quite powerful. We've got 130 kilowatts, which equals 172 horsepower.
Wow. My Prius is 110. So
yes. So
this should kick us in the seat, right?
Exactly. That's quite a bit. If you're up for it. So to just pick it up and off you go.
Oh, wow.
On the other hand, you can drive very smoothly, very quiet, nice and comfy, and
it's a very quiet car for a small size.
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to achieve. We want to provide the Mercedes-Benz comfort and noise and feel. The drivetrain is extremely quiet. We always have the question about electric vehicles being overheard by pedestrians. Yeah. So we added a
that's why I play Skrillex in mine. Loud Skrillex. They always hear me coming.
So there's an artificial sound generator that sends out a rather low sound towards the front right of the car to alert pedestrians. You won't hear that in the interior, so we're trying to isolate that sound from the passengers.
Do you have any driving assistance? We talked about autonomous vehicles. Are you doing like front-facing radar or anything like that? Because the BMW does not, and that was a major minus for me. Because my Prius has front-facing radar. We call it radar-assisted cruise control, right? And we also have a camera up here that watches the lanes and tries to warn you when you're falling asleep.
So you see those red triangles in the mirrors. That's your blind spot warning.
Yeah.
So you've got lane departure assist, which just knocks on your steering wheel. We've got a front collision prevention assist, which is a small radar sensor in the front that alerts you if you approach an obstacle too fast. And we've got the using this radar sensor to support regen energy. So in other words, if there's an obstacle in front of you, the car will automatically brake down using regen braking in order to regain as much energy as possible.
For people who don't know the difference, if you brake slowly and constantly, you can use the electric motor to regenerate electricity back into the battery.
Correct.
If you brake too fast, then you use the caliper to and you waste electricity because you're converting potential energy into heat, and that's not good, right? You want to slow down constantly and slowly so you get the power back.
There we go. Couldn't have said it any better. Absolutely perfect explanation.
See, I did study something in physics.
I barely remember physics.
And when I mentioned earlier, it depends very much on the customer type. Yeah. People who understand what you just said, they will look after how they operate the car. So they will apply the brakes very, very easily.
Is there good visual aids to tell
yes,
that you're driving in the most power efficient manner?
Absolutely. So we have this large power meter here,
yeah.
Which will go into the plus or boost range if you hit the pedal,
yeah.
And then it will go back into the charge mode when you apply the brakes slowly and regen energy. So your goal is always to stay on 0 or underneath in order to regen as much energy as possible.
Yeah.
And then also this energy flow instrument there will indicate now we're regen energy with the green arrows back into the battery. Now we're pulling energy out of the battery. And you always also have that available on the big screen here.
Yeah.
To really make it very visual and show what you're doing.
Very nice. So that extends your range. If you're a really aggressive driver like I am, you might only get 90 miles out of the
Exactly.
car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really up to your right foot how much mileage.
I have a heavy right foot. So
how much mileage you can get out of.
I'm
the
half
car.
German, you know. we were born on the Autobahn. I mean, come on.
No, but that's what I said earlier. Having a daily commute of 50 miles is a perfect thing, because then you can really have to experience all the fun the car can provide,
yeah.
Using all the power. Don't have to think about range so much unless you're really saying, well, today I got to go 80 miles, and then you look after your consumption.
Yeah. One thing when I get into a rental car now is I instantly try to figure out how to Bluetooth enable my
Yes.
phone and get Spotify on and
Yep.
get Waze on and get my phone synced up so I can make phone calls and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How deeply are you guys thinking through that process of bringing a smartphone? And which smartphones do you work with? Do you work? I assume you work with Android or iPhone.
Yes.
What happens when you bring one of those phones into the car?
So a couple of things. The functions you just mentioned is normal Bluetooth connectivity,
Yeah.
Which is standard in the car, obviously.
But it's hard to figure out on some cars.
And you're selecting your phone and you go for it. So that's rather simple. Through the central operation knob here, you can just connect. And basically, while you're driving, you shouldn't do it while you're driving, but it's rather easy to connect that. So the other thing with electric vehicles, you've got obviously much more options of providing connectivity with the vehicle. So all the cars are equipped with a communication module as a standard that via GSM communicates with the backend server. So the vehicle constantly sends vehicle information to that backend server, which you can access through your smartphone or through your laptop, and you can get a state of charge of the car. You can get the available range of any time. You can see the charging process. You'll get the end of the charge information all through your smartphone.
Yeah. So you have a Mercedes-Benz app on your phone?
Yes.
Very cool.
So it's called My B-Class Electric Drive, and you can access your car. You got to pair your phone with the car.
Can you see where your car's parked in case you forgot it at an airport
you
or something?
can't see automatically. You can say I'm parked here, and then later on lead you back to there.
Okay. Cool. Anything else we should know about this car? You know, it's an electric car. We saw the trunk. It's a really beautiful trunk. It's very quiet. It's
You can get used to that.
Yeah.
Driving electric cars is ultimately a lot of fun, but also very relaxing. You can just cruise and don't have any noise disturbance. The one thing you might want to know about the car, we worked together with Tesla on this vehicle. So the drivetrain and the battery is provided by Tesla. here from Silicon Valley, as you know.
Yep.
And that's a very fruitful cooperation in this particular vehicle.
Elon Musk is the man.
Well, he's got a lot of good people there.
Yeah.
And we worked with Tesla before on other projects, so this is the latest one. And yeah, we're very happy with that.
Yeah. It's available this fall in the United States?
This summer in the United States,
okay.
And later this year in Europe.
Very cool. If I'm in Europe and on the Autobahn, what's the top speed on it?
Top speed is 100 miles an hour, so we limit it to 100 miles.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, it's consumption.
Yeah.
The engine is capable of much more. But above that, the consumption goes really through the roof, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to drive much faster with an electric vehicle.
Yeah. If you are in the unfortunate place of getting in an accident, what does the car do to protect you?
The car's got all the safety systems features that you would expect from Mercedes. So in other words, airbags around you pretty much. So you've got your driver passenger airbag, obviously. You've got knee bags, you've got side bags.
Because it's front-facing radar is not on every version. Is that an option?
No, it's on every version.
It's on every version. So does it predict that you're about to hit something, and does it
Yes.
start doing things?
Yes.
Okay.
So the standard safety systems like ESP, ABS, obviously,
Yeah.
the airbags, and then, as I said earlier, the basic platform of the vehicle is ideal for making an electric car out of it, because it provides a very safe environment for the battery. Since it's placed in that semi-sandwich, it's right beneath long members, right behind a cross member, high up in the car. So the battery is well protected.
Yeah.
In other words, passive safety is to the highest standards.
We saw that problem with Tesla, that people who would run over something like a metal bar in the road caused a fire. Now they weren't hurt, but that is a problem, and now Tesla's putting a metal plate underneath the batteries to even further protect the battery.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much.
Where
did we learn? Again, the car's name is?
Mercedes-Benz B-Class electric drive.
B-Class electric drive. So if we do a Google search on